Hello, my dear friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Are you up for a Roxy's Weekly Challenge? I hope so, because that's what we're up to today. The latest challenge from Rachel is floating pockets, and I thought they looked really, really fun. So for my papers today, I'm using a bunch of very old digitals that I've had sitting on my system for at least 4 years, probably longer. Actually, no, it's definitely longer than that. Probably 5, maybe even 6 years. I don't believe these are available anymore. I think they were part of a package I bought of digitals that were like pages that were created but never went as part of the kit they were designed for. And then they all got kind of put into one kit of random bits and pieces because there's different themes. This one here doesn't look like Christmas, but it actually is. It's got "We wish you a Merry Christmas" text in the background. There's some about Paris. There's all sorts of colours, but all similar style. And I thought, well, let's get them out and have a play. So I freshly printed them off. Yeah, just a bunch of different ones from this. Who they're from, this is way before I started doing YouTube, before I started worrying about who things were from. But I do think, given the style, that they are from Antique Papery. As far as I know, I can't like categorically say that they are, but that's what I believe. But as I said, no longer available anyway. So this one, I've already trimmed the top and bottom off, and then I realized I probably actually don't need to take the time. So the front is going to be this side, so we're going to fold in under, and I haven't trimmed the white off because, again, we don't need to. This is going to be our edge on our pocket, so just a bit of reinforcing. And then we're going to fold a bit over on this side. I'm not sure how wide I want to go yet, so we're just gonna try it and see. Oops, don't know how straight that is, but never mind, we can always straighten it up. And then this one folds over, not all the way to the edge, and this might actually be a little wide, so let's fold it in a little bit more. So I'm using a A4 size paper. And I'm going, that's about 2 3/4 inches that I've folded on there. I think that looks to be a better width because I still want it to fit inside a pocket. So it's a floating pocket, so we'll have things inside it, but it can also either go into a pocket or even be glued down if you want it to, or paper clipped in, or even hinged in. So unfortunately I do have that extra crease down there, but that's okay. We'll just run with it. I can always put a strip of washi or something down there. So is it too wide for a pocket? I've got a piece of coffee dyed paper here. Let's just pretend this is a journal page, just to make sure it's going to fit. So this probably is still too wide to pop in a pocket, but it might go in like a horizontal belly band would be another way of handling that. But I do want to reduce the height, and this is where I thought I don't actually need to cut off the white edges first because I need to trim these down anyway. How tall? If it's going in a belly band, then I don't want to take super much off. I'll just take a little bit there, and because I've already taken the white off, I'm just going to leave it like that. So that one will go in a belly band, I think, or paper clipped in. Yeah, I think they'll work fine. So let's go ahead then and fold the rest of these. So I'm looking at which way is going to be the front, which way is going to be the back. there. Now taking a little closer look at how wide we're going. I think we'll go about there, and I'm going to trim some of that paper off because it's only going to be glued down. We may as well take it off and create ourselves a fun little scrap rather than hide it inside our pocket forever and a day. But before I do that, I'm going to line this up so we don't end up taking off too much. So I'm going to go that's going to give us plenty inside. Probably don't need quite that much. Just double check. Yep, all good. So fun strip to use for something else, and we've still got our decorative edge here, so that's looking good. I just managed to get the word life in there with the capital L. It's a little bit wrapped around, but I'm happy with that. Probably should do all the trimming at the same time in a mass make style, but already I'm departing from that because I just am not that comfortable with mass making. I think I'm going to take that right down to the top of the L. So it's going to be a wee bit shorter. Again, a fun little strip there. So just to... I think we would fit that in a nice pocket or like a corner tuck. That would work in nicely. So I think we're good on size. Right, let's see if we can attempt to do the folding. I think this time I want this to be the front. So we're going to do the pocket on the other side. That's going to be a front. So I actually think I do prefer to fold this over first because that's giving me my width a bit easier. Then fold this over here. So we're still actually getting quite wide. I might have to work on the width a little bit. Okay, not going to take much off this, but we'll take a little bit. We'll save something off the edge. Okay, that one I need to trim, put it in a separate pile because I need to trim the top and bottom off yet. Right, this one I think we're back to, yes, so this one goes this way, the pocket's on this side. The other two I've made, the pocket is on this side. Yep, just checking that I'm doing okay. Okay, so this is going to be the front on this one. And we get a narrower one in. We have a very small amount underneath, so we've just got a very narrow part along there. I think that should work fine. Bigger scrap, pretty scraps, very pretty scraps. I think these papers are just gorgeous, so it's really nice to bring them out and have a little play. Now this one could go either way. The pocket could go on either side. I feel like this has a little bit more going on maybe. This has got a few spots that are more open. So I'm going to go the same side on the pocket. So we've actually only got one that's in a different direction. And that's all right. I'm just going by what's on the paper. It's no real drama which way it goes. Either is fine. Right. So when Rachel was doing hers, she started off by folding this bit and then bringing this under and then choosing where to fold it. Then Rachel decided it was easier to fold both ends in and then work out where this fold goes. I'm finding it easier to fold this end under, fold it how wide I want it, then fold this one over top at whatever distance you want, and then you can just tuck it under. That for me is easy, and hopefully that makes sense what I just tried to demonstrate. But find your own way to do it, whatever's easier for you. There's always a gazillion different ways to achieve the same thing, isn't there? So it's just whatever works for you and whatever you find easiest. Okay, I'm kind of wondering whether I want to leave this full height, so I'm just going to trim off the white. So again, it will go in a belly band or maybe a corner tuck or something like that, or even paper clips. Something I don't use a lot typically in my journals is paper clips. Let me know, are they something that you put in your journals a lot or use, or not? I just, for one, I kind of am not overly fond of making them. But yeah, I just I think I forget them. I'm not in the habit of including them, so I don't think about putting them in unless I've watched a YouTube video and kind of got inspired and thought, oh yeah, let's do that. Or if I have a specific piece of ephemera that goes, yeah, you really need a paperclip for that. And then often I'll just grab a normal paperclip, clip it on and call it done. I'm going to take this one down lower. So maybe at the top of this flower. So we'll have a little short one. So we've got another fun scrap there. Just have a little short pocket. So that'll be a nice one to tuck into a small pocket on a page. Okay, and this one, I'll take a little bit extra off the bottom, not a huge amount. Not so much that I'm even going to keep the pattern on the strip because it's too small. And then at the top we've got this pretty lacy pattern happening. It'll just take about the same as what I took off the bottom. So again, a bin scrap rather than a keep scrap. And I think that would be a nice belly band size to put in behind a belly band. Okay, so now we've got gluing to do. And this is why I don't mass make, because just gluing all these 2 strips on each one that I've made is just like, I find that quite boring. So let's have a wee chat while I do the boring part. So yesterday I got to go out to one of the local schools, and the junior class were doing a project with their teacher. They've been studying volunteer, what it is, what volunteering means, what it is. And these students, it's a class of 25 and they're age 5 to 7. So imagine 25 kids with that age range. It's quite a big age range at that age, but that's what it is. That's what the class is. And they were studying volunteering with the teacher, and they had to choose 3 volunteer activities that they would like to help out with. And oh my gosh, these children, they were so cute, just adorable. So they chose to help an elderly gentleman in the community with his firewood. So they loaded up the trailer with firewood, and then it got taken to the gentleman's home, and then they all unloaded it into the woodshed for him. And he hadn't asked, it was actually the teacher's father, hadn't asked for this or anything, but that was one of the things they chose to do for their volunteer studies. The second thing they chose was donate food to the food bank. So the teacher says, okay, well, you want to do that. So each child was asked to bring, oops, let's put that in the right pile, asked to bring one either tinned good or dry food good to school to donate to the food bank. And so that's why I was at school, was to pick up the food bank food with my counterpart from the food bank. And my goodness, those children had been so generous. There was probably, on average, maybe 3 or 4 items per child that had been donated. So filled up the back of my car with all the lovely, generous donations. And the children had lots of questions for us, very intelligent questions. I'm sure mostly prompted by teacher. You know, they're young. But they did have good questions, and some of them were asked on the fly, so they were thinking about it, which was really lovely. And so they all helped. Well, no, actually, only a group of them helped load it into the car, the ones that the teacher selected to help put it into the car. That actually could go that way or that way. There's not, I suppose that's slightly directional. Yeah, it probably goes that way. What was I saying? So the children that were selected to helped put it in the car and took it back to the food bank, and we unpacked it and put it all away after we'd taken a couple of photos. Just so amazing, so generous. And some of the children throughout the little session that we had, it was only probably 15-20 minutes we were at the school. Some of them were like, oh, I've got a whole piggy bank. I want to give all the money in my piggy bank. And another one was like, oh, we've got Weet-Bix at my house. I want to give all the Weet-Bix. I have Weet-Bix every morning for breakfast. We can give you Weet-Bix. It's like, you know, it's like the enthusiasm, the sweetness is lovely. But it's hard to respond to. It's like, oh, that's so sweet. Oh, thank you. That's gorgeous. But knowing that, you know, their parents know nothing about this, that they're freely offering things that they probably shouldn't be. So you can't say, well, no or yes. It's just like, well, that's very sweet of you, and kind of just leave it at that. But they've still got one more activity to do for the 3 things for volunteering. And the next thing they're going to do is go and do something at a rest home. We've got 2 in Amberley. So I don't know which one they're going to go to. And it's the nearest rest home to the school, would be the ones in Amberley. So yeah, I don't know what they're going to do at the rest home, but I think that residents would absolutely just find it gorgeous, really gorgeous, and like, who wouldn't? So this one I'm going to tear, because I didn't do it, save that scrap. This is the one where I've got that extra crease line, which I'm not overly happy with, but maybe the glue will help smooth it down a bit. Yeah, so that was really, really fun. I was away from home a lot longer than what I anticipated, because my counterpart wanted to visit someone in the village where the school is. I know the people she was visiting, but I didn't really feel like visiting, so I sat in the car and answered some YouTube comments and, you know, did bits and pieces like that. Now that's not straight, so I just need to do a little snip there. I don't know how I didn't get it straight on both ends, but, you know, it's special skills. There we go, it's taken care of. So I sat in the car, did YouTube comments, messaged my husband, you know, did a few things like that. I think the crease isn't too bad. It's a little obvious on the dark red, but up here it's not so bad. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Okay, so that's the second stage, I guess. Is that what stage we're up to? Next stage is gluing our pockets closed. Now I haven't pulled out any like things to embellish these. So that's could be an issue. Maybe we won't be embellishing them on camera. So we had that extra time that I wasn't kind of planning on. And then we got back to the food bank, unloaded the food, and that's not straight either. Let's give that a wee snip. And then my counterpart decided it was time to rearrange a few things inside the store at the food bank. So we spent a good probably 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour, kind of shuffling things around. It's a constant job, you know, new stuff comes in and we need to put the freshest stuff to the back, so we use the older stuff first. So it's just a never-ending kind of thing, and some things had kind of not happened for a while. So it was time to take care of those, but it just meant I was out for probably an hour and a half in total, which is fine, like absolutely fine. It's just I hadn't built that into my day. I thought we might be gone for half an hour, but no, it was a bit longer. So when you're gluing, just glue on the short side, because if you glue on the back part, then you'll have glue out at the end of your pocket, which we don't really want. Not the end of the world, you can wipe it off, but easier just to glue on the short side to begin with. And then the glue is everywhere you need it and nowhere that you don't. Yeah, I've got a little white showing up there. My cutting skills are terrible today. In fact, I think this isn't showing, it's just that when I trimmed it with the guillotine, I didn't actually get all the white off. That's what that is. Bit of ink would have taken care of it. So on these, I've left quite a narrow little part for the entrance to the pocket, but it's really all that's needed. It doesn't need a big wide space, just depending what you want to put in the pocket. Rachel didn't put thumb notches in these, and I just realized I haven't even thought about it. You know, put a thumb notch. You could put a thumb notch if you want. I apparently am not. Shall we do one with a thumb notch? Just because, since I mentioned it. This is the one that goes the other way. So it's really going to be the odd one in the bunch, isn't it? Goes the other way, and it's the only one with a thumb notch out of it. Just looking at, yep, that's the short side. I'm used to gluing this side, and it's like, I need to glue this side. Variations, good to do variations. Just so happens variations are on the same item so far. Okay, so we now have our floating pockets all ready. And that didn't take that long, did it? And we've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Next step is rounding corners. Totally optional. If you don't like to round corners, don't like that aesthetic, you could also snip them. Or just leave them square, whichever you prefer. Rachel used a couple of different punches and made some really interesting corners. I don't have those. I've just got, you know, regular rounded ones. I think this one, the glue might still be a tad wet, so we'll perhaps start with this one. Yep, that feels better. Although it's punching corners that aren't actually glued, I don't think. I'm just going to whip through, punch all the corners. Oh, that's getting quite tough to punch. I wonder if I've got too much of a build-up underneath the punch board. Little stack of corners. Clear them out. No, get something. I wonder if I'm pressing down weirdly, like not straight. Maybe we'll put it this way, see if that makes a difference. Well, that felt better. So maybe I was like only not hitting it straight on, but getting one edge rather than all edges. I suspect it's user error, although that one didn't go so well. Either user error or it's getting a bit blunt, which is quite probable as well. I've had this for quite some time. I was actually looking at corner punches online, but it was like, oh, I don't want to spend the money. It's so difficult to spend money on tools because it's like, oh, it seems so boring. I mean, so useful, make life so much easier. And yet when it comes to buying, it's like, oh, that's boring. It's like, that's not pretty. It's not a gorgeous bit of paper or some fun coloured ink. It's just like, oh, that's boring. But I don't know why I'm like that. It's just quite a peculiarity about me on what I perceive as boring. Right, here we go. It was a bit of a mission, but we got there. Right, so now we are going to take these individually and look. So we do have some writing space on the top if we want. We've got writing space on the back that could be written on. So that's fine. I'm just first looking at what writing space we might have. You could write through that. It's perhaps not quite so easy. We might want to put something on that for writing. So I'm going to make 2 piles. This one I think needs something for writing. This one has a little bit of writing room, but again, I think I might put something on it. This one could be written on. That one's going to be okay. So these 3 I want to add something on the back of. So I'm going to make sure I'm on the back of each of them. And I'm going to use some coffee dyed paper. And I'm not going to cover the whole back. I'm just going to like put a piece. I think I might use my guillotine for this actually. Just want to take off that plainer edge there. It's very crinkly paper. I don't iron my paper. Sometimes I think, oh, maybe I should have. It would have worked a lot better. But honestly, don't really mind. So we want about 2 1/4 inches for that one. So just a strip that's going to go down here. I'm going to take again that line off the top. And probably down to the pattern on that end as well, give or take. Right, so that's going to go on that one. Now this one, we want a strip. I think I'll leave the key. So on this one, we're going to go 2 inches. Oops, wrong way around. So we'll go 2 inches on this one. Ooh. The cuts aren't straight because the paper's crinkly. Right, take off that top. So just a very small writing space, but it is writing space nonetheless. And about there. Okay, so that's that one. Where's my other one gone? Oh, there we go. I hid it Okay, I'm not going to chop this. I'm not going to chop this. Don't chop it. I'm just measuring. Let's go. One 5/8. So even narrower. Right, trim the top and bottom, and then we'll stick these on. And go about there. That's quite a useful little scrap for stamping or something. Okay, bring the glue page back again. Now I do want to make sure I have them the right way up, just so I kind of keep things in the right order. So that's going to go down there. Glue stick, that's what I'm after. So I find the papers flatten out really nicely just with plenty of glue and a good amount of pressure with some sort of scraping tool. And so they will end up slightly bigger than what you've cut them, because you cut them, they're all crinkled, so they're scrunched up a little bit. When you smooth them out onto whatever you're gluing them onto, it gets all the wrinkles out, and of course that means the paper pushes out a little bit. So use just a gift card, I find, is it's a bit grubby, but you know, it's just where the sticky residue was from the pin number. Just giving it a good scrape, and it comes out perfectly flat and beautiful. Love that. So we've got a little bit of writing space on the back. Right, let's do the next one. So again, just orientate myself the right way so I know where we're putting it. I mean, it's got a beautiful rose there. Would I prefer it over that side? Cover the key. I don't really want to cover the key because we get roses on a lot of things, don't we? But we don't often get a beautiful key. And there's also a horse at the top, and I love horses, so I don't really want to cover the horse either. So let's cover the rose. There is pretty roses on the front, so let's take the opportunity to preserve something that we don't often get on a digital. And that's in my experience. Like, I have not got an exhaustive experience with different digitals. There might be many digitals out there with a key on, just not in my stash that I know of or that I can remember. Right, so again, just giving it a good smush down there, and we've got pretty writing space. Okay, next one. This is the last one we're adding writing space onto the back of. So which way? This way, isn't it? I think I'm going to go just right down there. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I definitely want writing space on them. I don't want to have no writing space. Even though there'll be writing space on whatever we put inside the pocket, I just like, no, that's wrong. I love to put as much writing space in a journal as possible. Or, I mean, not necessarily writing space. It could be for popping a photo or some tickets from a concert or going to the movies. You know, whatever you like putting in a journal. I like to have as much room as possible for those things. Oh, my tummy's gurgling. You really needed to know that, didn't you? I'm sure you did. Here we go. So some lovely writing space. Here, I think I'm quite happy with what's there. And here, because this is a smaller one, I think this is plenty just to write a little something. So that's that. So all we've got to do now is put something inside the pockets. Do we have time to at least do one? Yes, we do. We might get more than one done. Now, I haven't prepared anything apart from I've got some coffee dyed paper at the top of my desk. We've got this offcut that we used from backing, putting the writing space on. So do we want to just use that in one? Actually, I'm wondering, how's that height-wise? If we trim off this edge where the stencil was, that might fit nicely into the smallest one. So I'm going to take more off than that because we've got the glue line to consider. Another good stamping strip there. If I fold it in half, very crinkly. So crinkly, I just need a bit of help to kind of get that fold in. Right, so does it fit? It fits height-wise. And I just want to, I didn't fold it all that well, it's uneven, but we're going to trim off this edge. Just a smidge, not a huge amount, just a smidge. Straighten it up. And a lovely crinkly bit of paper that someone can write on, or they can use it for collage or whatever. And I think that's as simple as I'm going to go with that one. I'm just thinking, do I want to add any labels or anything? Shall we try a label? Thinking what colour would go, maybe just a vintagey sort of something. So for that I'm turning to the Junk Journal Studio. Labels from Days Gone By is what I'm looking at, and I'm sorry I'm just off screen. Kind of blends in a bit much. I like that one. Okay, just pop those aside. So we're just going to do that. I haven't inked anything. I possibly, not sure yet. I might go back around and ink the edges, and I'll just put a bit of paper inside the pocket to ink the edge of the pocket. Or I may not. I may just leave them as are and then decide when I go to put them in a journal whether they need to be inked or not. I'm not entirely positive. So for now, they are just going to be as they are. I'll probably ink the Christmas one in the Asian Mahogany. I might be using that this Christmas in one of the Christmas journals I'm working on. So that one I'm calling done, apart from any decision later on whether I ink it or not. And so it's just simply got that folded up bit of coffee dyed paper inside the pocket. Why am I having trouble getting that out? Because I'm only pulling half the side. Maybe I need to put the fold on the outside so it's easier to grab. Bit tidier too. Yep, there we go. So that's that one. Easy peasy, my friends. Easy peasy. Okay, well, this is the Christmas one. Shall we do the Christmas one? Like I said, I haven't got any fussy cuts or anything out to decorate it with. new pad on, but there's so much fluff caught up in the Velcro that it's not sitting on properly. I think I need to grab a comb or something and give it a haircut, give the Velcro a haircut, because this just doesn't want to stick properly. It's a new pad, but it's not a new pad in terms of I'd used it previously for aged mahogany. Obviously couldn't find it, so grabbed out a new one, and then the new one got too fluffy. And in the process of looking for my blank ones, I found this one. So, oh, that's so pretty. I just think aged mahogany is perfect for Christmas. It's just that beautiful shade of dark reddy brown. It's more red than brown, actually, in my view. And it helps that it's pretty much my favourite colour. The deep reds. It's the benefit of having friends that really know you. I do so appreciate you, my dear Lydia. You are amazing. And there's a few of you that are amazing and know exactly what colour rocks my boat. And a good deal more of you know now. It's definitely my favourite colour, and I've found I've been using it quite a bit lately in the Deal It Up challenge. Whatever the prompts are coming out, I'm finding a way to use it. So I find that quite fascinating. Right, so I am going to do this one because I definitely know that this is going to go in a Christmas journal, and I know what ink I'm using for my Christmas journals, so we might as well go ahead and get it ready, because I'm running out of November. December is the end of this week. Oh my gosh, I am nowhere near ready with any of my journals. Yeah, it's a bit sad really. I don't know that I'm going to be selling them this year. I don't know if anybody who will want a journal into December. Like, you probably all want a journal at the beginning. Yes, Laurel, I know you're fine to wait for a journal. I'm just, speaking generally. Okay, so that's inked. Decoration. It doesn't actually need a lot because it is highly decorative. It's got a lot going on. Got this beautiful big butterfly or moth, whichever. Do we perhaps just want a label? And I'm thinking a Christmas label. Where are my Christmas labels? I'm going to go grab my Christmas labels. Just bear with me 2 seconds. So I've got the Junk Journal Studios kit, vertical Christmas words and labels? Something like that. It does actually have a few fussy cuts as well, which I had forgotten. So I'm thinking maybe we want to just check. Just don't feel like that's the right style with this. But something like this might be. Yes, I like that. I do like that. Okay, do I want something under it? Like maybe a bit of music paper, perchance. Don't think I want the title for anything. I love odd shapes. We're covering over a lot of the butterfly though, aren't we? Probably trim it down so much that it's a bit pointless. Do we just put that? And then we can still see the head of the butterfly. Yep, okay, we're abandoning the music. That will be used for something else. No biggie. Now that I've torn it into little shards. Little lick of ink to take away from the white edge that I can see. Nothing too drastic. And let's glue it on, and I think that's all the decoration we need for it. As in terms of what to put in the pocket, I'm thinking I might save it for the ephemera with the journal. The journal kits that I'm working on, they all come with various ephemera that, you know, we might find something that will fit in there, or I might make something with the fussy cuts or something out of the whichever kit that accompanies the journal I will put it into. So I think I will leave the contents of this one. Do I want to add some coffee dyed paper? They're actually quite generously sized, like you can fit a reasonable amount in there. So do I want to add some coffee dyed paper anyway, and then a journal card or a tag as well? Again, I'm just going to take off this strip where the edge of the stencil was to start with. Another good stamping strip. It's too tall, so we'll deal with that as well. Just fold it about there. I think I'm going to just go ahead and put some coffee dyed paper in there. Come on, fold. Just needs a little encouragement. And then I think I'll just use the whole piece. Why not? Good writing space, plenty of it. And there, and probably a reasonable amount of the height. And I might put the fold towards there. Just smoothing out some of that crinkleness. It's still got plenty there, don't worry. It's still very tactile and fun if you like the crinkle of paper. It's still got plenty of that going on. So I think a little journal card or even a bigger journal card in there as well would just be really nice to amp up the fun factor. But for now, I'm going to set that one aside. How are we going on time? We are almost out of time. Have we got a moment to do this one? So this is the one that goes the other side. Definitely want a journal card in it, but I'm like, do we want to add coffee dyed paper? Why not? We're on a roll. This time though, I think I'm just going to put a single piece. Well, the others were all single pieces. What I mean is a piece that's not folded, just a straight flat cut to size piece. Not quite big enough for stamping on, so we'll bin that scrap. How wide do we want it? Maybe 4 inches. Needs to go about there. Okay, I think we're good for fit. Yep, we're good for fit. So I do want to just round the corners on this as well. I've had a few people asking lately about my coffee dyed paper and how I do it. It's not an easy process for me to film. I do it on top of my fire, so I tend to do it in winter only. So that's the first issue, is because we're in spring now. 2, it's something I need both my hands for, and because I do it over by the fire, I haven't got my recording rig to hold the camera for me. So I'm not sure how I can record the process. I'm still thinking about it and kind of mulling over ways that I might be able to do it. So if you're one of those people who have asked about it, do know that I am considering it. I'm just not sure how I would actually be able to physically do it. I may work it out sometime. I may have to resort to like a written with photos. Might be a bit easier as a tutorial. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of mulling over potential ideas for how I might make that happen. So that's just got that single flat piece of, well, not so flat, crinkly piece of coffee dyed paper in. And I want to put a journal card or a large tag or something in there as well. So that's that one. So we have 2 left, but I think I'm going to call it a day for this video anyway. I've still got more videos to do. So we've got these 2 that I haven't got anything in as yet. They've got writing space on the back. Aren't they pretty? They're just so pretty. We've got this one that's just got the writing space on the back, a coffee dyed piece of paper inside, and still need to add something. Do we want a label? You can label down here. I mean, absolutely doesn't really need it, but we can always add. No rules against adding more things. No, it covers over too much of the rows. Need a smaller, this is a smaller version of that label, but I think it blends in a bit much actually. What else can we find? Kind of looking for something that stands out but in a good way. I quite like that one actually. Let's go with that. Like I said, like I'm gilding the lily in many respects, but hey, I'm just going to use my vintage photo, get rid of that white edge that I can see. But it's not hard just to add a label or some little fussy cut or a word or something. Just a little touch to make it your own. That's what it's about. At the end of the day, it's turning a digital which anybody can use. You know, if you happen to own this old digital, like, it's the things we do to it that makes it our own, isn't it? It's the things we add, the way we handle it, what we turn it into, whether we round corners or don't round corners, whether we ink or don't ink. It's all those little things that add up to make something our own style, our own aesthetic, our own thing that's pleasing to ourselves. It's not all using the same labels and the same digitals in the same way, because that's not creative, is it? Not really. You might be making something, but you're not creating something unless you add, mix and match, make it your own. Okay, so that's that one. We've now added a wee label just because I felt like it. Makes it my own. Then we've got our Christmas one with the folded up coffee dyed paper in, and I want to add a piece of ephemera from, I think from probably one of Joey Cardmaker's kits. I envisaged that the colours in this will go well in one of his kits, that one I've started, one I haven't, journals. And then this wee one, which will be super cute tucked into a pocket. And I'm very distracted right now trying to put the lid on my glue with one hand. Super cute little one, bit of writing space on the back just as part of the digital, and then the coffee dyed paper. And that's all that one is going to be. It's just nice and simple. We label on the front. I think it's super pretty as it is. So there's my interpretation. It's very close to what Rachel did. I just did the folding a little differently, and I think Rachel put some of her printable ephemera was what she was going to put in hers, and I've so far just gone with coffee dyed paper because that's what I had to hand. Thanks for joining me, my friends. Have a beautiful day, and I will catch you again tomorrow. See you then. Bye.